Hey, good evening. We're in our Psalm studies here, Cleveland Community Chapel, Psalm number 77. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're working your way through the Psalms one a week here with us. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you feel like you're overwhelmed, or if you feel like you're overjoyed, or anything in between, anywhere in the human condition, you can find a psalm that speaks for you and speaks to you. And Psalm 77, you've probably found yourself here before. You might be here today. The psalmist is asking, I've just got more than I can handle. There's too much trouble on me. God, where are you? Help me out here. And it's sort of divided up in like 3 or 4 verses. The first 3 you can see ends with the Selah, the musical rest place, and kind of each verse sort of changes into a different perspective, different attitude here. But it started out, and the psalmist is in Asaph, it says, he's kind of in a pity party here, but he's doing the right thing. He's praying about it and asking God what's going on. Psalm 77:1, he said, I cried unto God with my voice, even unto God with my voice, and he gave ear to me. He listened to me. In the day of my trouble, I sought the Lord. That's a good thing to do when you're in trouble, ain't it? This next part always bugged me, and I did a little research on this just a little while ago. He said, it seems out of place. It says, my sore ran in the night and ceased not. Okay, he's having spiritual troubles. Does he mean this in a spiritual way or physically? But I looked this up in the RSV and the NIV, and the reason I did is because even in my KJV footnote here, it says, translation, my hand was stretched out in the night. And he's talking about praying fervently, so there may be a little problem in the KJV translation right there. My soul ran in the night. Everything else that I looked at says, my hand was stretched out to you in the night, and cease not. My soul refused to be comforted. He's in a lot of trouble here and anguish. And he said, I remembered God. That's a good thing. And I was troubled. I complained. He complained to God. And my spirit was overwhelmed. This is more than I can handle, Lord. I'm overwhelmed. And then we come to our first break here, the first Selah. Verse 4, thou holdest mine eyes waking. He's still complaining in this next stanza, though. Thou holdest mine eyes waking, I think is a way of saying, I'm so troubled I can't sleep. I'm so troubled I can't speak. I've considered the days of old and the years of ancient times. So he's thinking about it. He's thinking, try to understand what's going on, what's happening. We'd say we're going to look back in the Bible and see what God's done in the past. We're going to remember in our own life what God's done in the past for us. And he said, I've been thinking like that. He said, I'm complaining, I'm overwhelmed, and I've considered the days of old, the years of ancient times. And I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with my own heart, or I'm trying to think it out myself. Help me, God. And my spirit made diligent search. I've searched the scriptures and tried to see what's happening here. Will the Lord cast off forever? Will he be favorable no more? And all these are, to me, rhetorical. He's trying to tell himself, no, this can't last forever. Will the Lord cast off forever? Will he be favorable no more? Is his mercy clean gone forever? Does his promise fail forevermore? See, he's looking into the past and realizing, no, I've learned that hey, there's an end to this. Hath God forgotten to be gracious? Paul would say what? God forbid. Hath he in anger shut up his tender mercies? Is this not still the same God? And we come to the musical rest, Selah again. So I kind of look at it now, a new stanza. And I said, this is my infirmity, or this is my problem. This is my problem, my infirmity. But I will remember the years of the right hand of the Most High. So when you get down to where you're just really having trouble and feel like God's forsaken you, know that he ain't, because Jesus said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. But you can comfort yourself with it no matter how bad it gets. You look back and say, I'm going to remember the good times that me and God's had in the past, and I know there's an end to this. As that one little lady said, her favorite verse in the Bible is, it'll come to pass. It didn't come to stay, praise God, it'll come to pass. I'll remember the works of the Lord. Surely I'll remember your wonders of old. I'll meditate of all thy work. Meditate means I'm going to roll it over in my mind, all the creation, all the goodness of God. And I'll talk of thy doings. And that's one thing that helps us get out of pity parties, ain't it? That we start talking to other people about how good God is. That way you're kind of preaching to yourself, building your faith up. You know, it's encouraging yourself that we serve a good God. Verse 13, thy way, O God, is in the sanctuary. I kind of like that translation. I go to church no matter whether I feel like it or not, because that's where I find out. That's where I really commune with God, and I'll get some of this understanding straightened out here. And it's like he went to the sanctuary to worship God, and then he's come out and he said, who is so great a God as our God? Who's so great a God as our God? Thou art the God that doest wonders. Thou hast declared thy strength among the people. Thou hast with thine arm redeemed thy people. No matter how bad it gets, we can look back and say, praise God, I've been redeemed. You know, if there's an end to this, whether it's through death or in this life, I'm going to the better place. Because I've been redeemed. God's a good God. I've redeemed thy people. For him it was the descendants of Jacob and Joseph. And we come to another break again, Selah. Now, it seems like, to me, I think the psalmist Asaph here has been thinking of these things and meditating about it as he writes this 4-stanza song. And he's went back and he's searching the scriptures, and he's back in Exodus over here somewhere, and he's reading this section, and he reiterates it in this psalm. He says, I remember what God did when the people couldn't understand. God made a way when the people thought there was no way. He said, I've been reading back there where Israel, they left Egypt and they got out here to the Red Sea, and here comes Pharaoh's army, and they're trapped between Pharaoh's army and the Red Sea, and it's like, what are we going to do now? They didn't see that God could make a way, and he's going to remember that God did make a way through those waters. He said, the waters saw thee, verse 16, O God, the waters saw thee. They were afraid. The depths were also troubled. The clouds poured out water. The skies sent out a sound. Thine arrows also went abroad. The voice of thy thunder was in the heaven. The lightnings lightened the world. The earth trembled and shook. Thy way is in the sea, and thy path in the great waters, and thy footsteps are not known. Thou leddest thy people like a flock by the hand of Moses and Aaron. God's church is still a flock being led by God. And I hope there's a Moses and or Aaron in your pulpit too, because he's still setting leaders over us to show us the way. See you next time. We'll do Psalm 78 next week, Lord willing.